Good morning, everybody. It is early, not as early as usual. I did not set my alarm this morning. We have kittens that beat us into the greenhouse. Huh. Lately at night, I've heard little footsteps, and it makes me super nervous, and it probably was just kittens every time. But being here without John, even though we're in the back of the property and we have the renters super close and other neighbors super close, these little noises at night can be disconcerting. So, good morning, Sunday morning. I think it's Sunday. Is it Sunday? I'm pretty sure it's Sunday. Today we have some chores to do for family who's out of town and going to church. Usually the girls go to church with my in-laws. Good morning, Marcia. Yes, we do have bird singing this morning. Hey, Randall. Thank you. Albany Mountain Homestead is here. Good morning, good morning. This morning, I thought I would knit another hat because I just, again, have yarn laying around. I got this one finished. I don't really know what I think of it. I think it's very woolly. In our area, it would be thick enough, but it has, the gauge was too big. Not the gauge. The weight of the yarn was too big and thick and thin. So in our area, it would let in too much wind. But I'm about to put that on the Etsy store. Hi, kitty. Hopefully anyone who wants hats for me is not allergic to cats, because we always have a lot of cats around. Hey, Tom. I am somewhat allergic to cats. Not so much the short hair. Long hair cats I definitely struggle with. Pam Klein, hello. Stephanie, how are you? Oh, it's nice to see the oldies but goodies. So I did not put this on my bobbin winder. I probably should have. But sometimes in live shows it's nice to just have something that takes not a lot of attention but is kind of time consuming and slow. How much for the hat? I don't know. I'm not going to ask as much for them this time as I did before, because I'm spinning them on the live shows, the Facebook lives. So I haven't really decided, especially since that one was made by the girls. As far as the plies were made by the girls, and then I just plied them. So most of the work was done by the girls. Let's see. So here we are in July, almost August. It feels like the summer has gone by very quickly, probably because most of ours we were freezing to death. Our mornings are in the 50s, our nights are in the 50s, and then our days are in the 80s and 90s. So that's what our southeast Idaho temperatures are doing right now. Let's see if I totally ruined that. So Stephanie said, I love spinning along with your videos. It's kind of fun to have a little bit of a spin along, isn't it? Let's see. This is always the very dangerous part, in which I'm not sure that I undid the knot right. Hello, Nell from Texas. What, kitty? Ow! She got the thread. You got it. What you gonna do with it now? What you gonna do with it now? Those are some very sharp claws. Okay, she got the yarn. Hold on. Look, right here. Do you want it? Oh, almost. Almost. You got it. Is it not as exciting now that you got it once? These are really cute kitties. We haven't had kittens for, well, since we've been traveling, and the girls have definitely missed having them. We always have a batch of kittens running around. Unfortunately, because we live out rurally, we lose a lot of kittens. We try really hard to keep them away from the road. I think they survive longer here than they do most places because we're so far off from the road. Ouch! No more claws. But we do not spay any of our cats, because if we did, we would have no cats. And that would make us sad. Stop eating my yarn. So Alex Mitchell said, same here in Central Ontario, Canada. So you must have cold nights and hot days. What ever happened to your little dog, Tina? I don't think I've seen her in a while. So Tina, when we got back in March, not this year, but last year, when we got back, she was older. How old was she? She was 13, almost 14 years old. And we ended up putting her down. She was having a hard time with her bowels. She didn't have any teeth left. It was just rough. It was rough for Tina. So we ended up putting her down when we got here. I think we put her down in August of last year. And that was really, really rough. She was just struggling. She was an old puppy. Albany Mountain Homestead said, sounds like lovely weather. Heat index has been rough. John said they had over in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, they had 106 yesterday. I think that's what he said. Wow, Sharon hit 110 here yesterday. My goodness. Tom Brown said, good rodent control. Yes, they're essential for our homestead. We love them as pets. These guys, great. No, because they weren't related. My favorite kitty was named Tiger, and she would climb on anything, and she would ride on my shoulder if I was outside doing chores, and especially she would climb up and ride on my shoulder for milking. And she never got in the milk. She knew better than that, but she would climb down my arm a little bit so that her head was just right there and watch me milk. And then she would always get some afterwards. So she was a very special cat, and as happens, she was very smart. She would never have got hit by a car. So one of our neighbors actually trapped her when she was pregnant with her next batch. I'm getting so much done with this kitten on my lap, and shot her. And so that was very tragic, because our cats, in the fall, our cats follow us down the canal. But we like to walk down the canal because you can get everywhere in our area by following the canal system, and you don't have to go out on the road. So when I had really little kids, it was fun to walk in the canals so we could go for walks, but it was safe. And our cats would always follow us, and it was the only way our cats could follow us for a walk and be safe too, was to go down the canal. So we made this little parade of kittens and kids and puppies back in the day. We haven't done it in a really long time. But let's see. Sunny DIY made it. Central Texas. Rocky Brook made it. You are liking this wool. What is up with that? Who knew? What are your thoughts on it, huh? I invite you in the live stream, so I can't excuse you and try to tell you to go somewhere else, but you're making a mess. You're making a mess. Let's see, other things that we could talk about. South Africa. Hello, Erica. Other things that are happening. I'm about to take down the plastic because, for one thing, it will not make it through another winter. It has become brittle, as happens with plastic that is not meant for UV. This one is 6 mil. I always use 6 mil if I'm going to use it in a greenhouse application. And it works just fine for one season. The more you can batten it down with lathe, the better. Because it's the flapping. It's the flapping of the plastic that damages things more than anything. But I'm going to take that down. I'm going to make some better curtains. I don't know. Can you guys see the curtains on the side? It keeps us from getting too hot in here when the sun comes up really warm. Hi. Hi. I'm going to take out... Ouch! Ow. The other one got my foot. I'm going to take the cooking station out and put it over next to the outdoor shower. Reason being that I want to put a little bit of a swing in here for the girls. Brownsville gets very humid is what they just said. Bless heap, so humid. Hello from Iowa. Oh, my sister-in-law is moving to Iowa. We're really excited because she's going to be about 6 hours from us, where we'll be in Tulsa. And so we'll be able to see her for Thanksgiving and Christmas once the girls and I get there in September. John is getting everything ready for us to come back. But we'll be coming back earlier than we did last year. Last year we went to Tulsa in November, and this year we'll be going to Tulsa in September. And we are excited. It's funny because we keep calling Tulsa home even though this is home, but I think it's kind of where your family is and where your heart is, and John is in Tulsa. So that's what we kind of call home right now, which is kind of weird because we are home. We're from Idaho. But we miss John a lot. Could you show us the canal someday? You talk about it a lot, but in my area we don't have those, and I'm not really clear on what they look like or what they do. So they look like a small river. The canal looks like a small river, and it's about 7 to 8 feet deep. And it breaks off into little ditches that are about 2 feet deep, 2.5, maybe 3 feet deep. And yes, I will try to show you. In some of my videos, I have shown the pump, but maybe I haven't shown the actual canal. That's funny. In some areas, canals are used for drainage. So if you're in an area like Mississippi where you get a lot of rain, then your canals are used for drainage to pull water off the farmland. In our area, we use canals to put water onto the farmland because it comes down out of the mountains. Let's see. Yes, Kitty, you are so helpful. Umbrella automotive plan D survival. Hello, hello. Screen the porch, then cover with new plastic. Actually, that is a really good idea. I would like to put screening on, and I do have some from my mother that's white that would actually work really well. The reason I haven't done it yet is because you are being very aggressive with that yarn, is because I have been painting the floor inside and trying to make it super cute so that it's easier to film in. It stayed cool enough out here with the plastic. The plastic has kept wind off of the cooking station. And with the curtains, the dark curtains that I have in here, they are, what's the word, blackout curtains? They keep the sun off so that even though we have a greenhouse, this is, to all intents and purposes, a greenhouse, our deck. Even though we have that, with the dark curtains, it doesn't get too hot in here and it still lets air filter through. So far this year, we haven't had a lot of mosquitoes. It was cold for too long, I think. We've had some biting flies, but they've been over by the goats. Let's see. Erica said, I missed last week as we had a power outage for a week and a power station was damaged and they haven't rebuilt it yet, so I was glamping. Ooh, was it fun? The thing that we wouldn't have if we had a power outage is we wouldn't have the fridge, and I wouldn't be able to do anything with, well, I guess I could. If I could charge the phone in the car, I could still do that because we have one teeny tiny little bit of power that we use for the fridge, and it's one of the reasons why what I'd like to get is a propane fridge. Because with the propane fridge, we'd still get a little one. They make them and they're on Amazon, but they're super expensive. They're $350. They run off of propane, and it would still be, if you want the full-size one, it's like $1,500 to $3,000. But what we use right now in the house is just a little college dorm room size fridge, the little teeny tiny ones. That's what we use because it doesn't take a lot of power, and we don't really need it to be bigger. It's amazing how much food you can put in there if you're also using root storage and dry goods. So it's plenty for our family to have that tiny fridge. So I could go and spend $350 and get a propane fridge, and then if the power went out, the only thing we would be out is phones and computer, but I can charge those in the truck. We have an inverter. So let's see. Good morning, Frisco. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting behind on comments. Hi from Maine. Surprise. YouTube actually let me know you were on. I know that doesn't happen very much, and she is a very cute kitty, isn't she? Good morning, Frisco. And Stephanie said, I'm going to be setting up my local library for their Pioneer Days. I'll be spinning, and Brent will be crocheting with my husband. Oh, that's so fun. Let's see. Advice for setting something like that up. If you can dress up so that you look true to the era, that can be really fun and bring more people in. Make sure to have snacks and plenty of water, and if you can, have somebody come in and spell you so you can get up and walk around some. The drop spindles are also pretty fun. The kids like those. And let's see, but if you're at the library, usually what sells really well at things like that is books. People are really, really into that. But you're doing Pioneer Days. What else would be fun for Pioneer Days? I really think the drop spindles are fun because then the kids can play with them. What else?
You could set up a cardboard wagon that looked like a pioneer wagon in front of the store.
That would be fun. Let's see. Yep, I had gas stove and lamps and read a lot. Yeah, it can be really fun to be off grid. And the cats are starting to get to me. Oh, cute thing. You're gonna make me sneeze. Pardon me. Hey, Aardvark, how are you? No mosquitoes there. Is it because you did not kill the frogs this year? Okay, Umbrella said propane lasts forever as long as the tank holds air. Well, exactly. Propane lasts forever. We have one tank that let's see, how many tanks did I go fill up? All my tanks went dry at exactly the same time. Is that what happened? What, honey? Except the one in here. We have this one in here that we were doing most of our cooking off of. We'd had one out here that we had been using for bath water, and they lasted, how long did they last? They lasted forever, like 3 months on one tank. And we still haven't, I don't think we filled that one up yet. I don't remember. We have done really well with those little 5-gallon things of propane. All right, Joseph Poole said, good morning, y'all. Hello, hello. Hilda Way said, Sunny DIY. Hi, are you getting, okay, let me keep moving on. Hey, Biddy Boo, how are you? She's out in our neck of the wood out in Tulsa. Tyler said, good morning from South Texas. The house is listed and we will be Washington bound soon. That is super exciting. Paige, you might have to come get the kitty. She's making me sneeze now.
Okay.
Make sure you got clothes on though, because it is live and I cannot cut the stream if you flash everybody. So do everything up.
Thank you.
Because she is the best part of the show, but I am starting to sneeze. She has gone like this into my lap, and that seems to be the cue to my body to say, oh, we've had enough kitty.
Yeah. I put the tails up on my nose.
Okay, so Albany Mountain Homestead said giving a short history on spinning and the crafts would be entertaining. Yeah, that would be fun. Alex said, what about solar propane fridges? Eat up propane, at least mine does. Motorhome model runs on AC, DC, and propane. I have seen the dual models. My problem is that everything that I've done, I'm trying to keep really super low tech. Is the fridge. We did for a little bit, yeah, having kittens on your lap while doing this might not have been the brightest thing I've ever done. She had fun. It shouldn't have made that much of a difference as far as winding, unless I had it wound incorrectly, but now I've done it. This is going to be a mess. Sorry. So we ended up putting ice into it instead. And we are a very meat dependent family. If we weren't meat dependent, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. What are you doing, kitty? We got another kitty who is preggers. What are you seeing that's making you scared? What? What's the matter?
Is that a kitten kitty?
No, it's the big kitty. She's acting like she saw something that scared her. She came rip snorting around that corner. All right. Oh, blues me. Okay, Aline said, good morning from England. Will you be taking your cats with you to Tulsa? No, the renters keep the cats here. We really can't. We have a hard time keeping in cats. And the other thing is, it's such a long drive. And let's see, I'm trying to think. The rentals that John has been looking at, I do not know. I think some of them said that cats were okay, cats and dogs, but traveling like this is really hard on them. If we got to Tulsa and we were only there for a year, then I don't know. I found that traveling is hard on animals. It's hard on them, and especially if you have to say goodbye, it's really hard on us and them. And so I think we're going to keep pets to a minimum unless they're food animals. Even back in Tulsa when we were there this last summer, we got rescue chickens. We got battery chickens that were in really, really bad shape. And they got healthy and they got happy and they got active and they were laying eggs and all their feathers grew back in. And when we gave them to Nikki, it was really, really hard because we had watched them get better and we were attached to them, and they were very friendly. They would come up and lick my leg to tell me that it was time to eat. And so when we gave those to Nikki, I was so glad we had a good home for them. But I was crying inside. I might have actually cried outside a little bit too. Let's see. Oh, fun. Biddy Boo Brown has added sheep. Last time we were there, we were thinking about coming out and butchering some goats at her place, and we never made it out. But they've got sheep now too. Sunny DIY said, Julie, turns out our big dogs are mouse catchers. That's awesome. I was thinking about getting a free barn cat from the shelter until I saw them get one. That's awesome. Let's see. Martha is here. Sunny DIY said, yeah, cats don't like traveling like that for the most part. Mine went from Texas to New York and decided he didn't want to be with us anymore. Yeah, I think it's hard on them emotionally, especially cats, because it's not like they can get out and run around, and you'd have to leash train them if you did want them to be able to get out. My sister-in-law has an absolutely indoor cat. We don't have indoor cats. They get to come in and play with us a little bit, but they live outside. They're very happy cats. My sister-in-law has a 100% indoor cat. That cat never goes outside. And so when they put it in the car and they put the what's it called? The box. The litter box in the car, the cat just uses the litter box, climbs back and forth, and is super happy. Our cats, hello, you got it again. You're super helpful. Paigey, can you grab me a tissue, please?
Sure.
Yes, you're so helpful.
Is that another kitten?
It's the same kitten, the one that attacked my heel before.
Paige, can you go out and get me that kitten?
Let's see. Ah, hey. Hey, hey. All right.
Can you get me that kitten?
He's playing with the string.
Thank you.
Come here, little kitty. Hold on.
No, you don't come over here.
Why?
Because your bathrobe does not say closed. Okay, just go. It's okay. I'll keep track of the kitten. You go play.
I want you to hold that.
All right. Day Kid said, hey, I'm an upcoming YouTuber trying to reach my goal. I am your new friend. Well, that is interesting. Okay. What are we saying? Can you darn my socks? I know how to darn socks. Depends on what kind of socks they are. If they're cotton, it would be, you could still do it. It's a little easier to do them if they're wool because the space between the stitches is a little bigger. All right. Good morning, Grandma Rose. Rachel's from Australia. I know. I have a skein winder, or I have an umbrella that holds the skein, and I also have a ball winder, but I didn't set it up over here because I wasn't thinking kittens, and then the kittens came, so that's why I named it what I did. But originally, hello, Missy. Originally, I was not thinking that I would be fighting cats too.
Mom, I'm in safe clothes now. Spider.
All right. Biddy Boo Brown said, when will y'all be coming back then, hun? We're thinking the end of September.
I'll get it, Mom.
What, honey?
I didn't see.
Okay, I don't want you wearing socks out here. If you're going to wear socks, you got to have shoes on too. So pick it, sandals or shoes, and get them on. When you're doing laundry off-grid, stickers and straw and things like that are your worst enemy, because we stopped doing laundry at my parents' unless it's an emergency. If, for instance, I know that I have a ton of errands to run and I'll be in town and I haven't done laundry yet, I'll take laundry into my parents'. But for the most part, we do it here, and it's been really straightforward, with the exception of those little stickers. So foxtails or little cockaburs or anything, if kids walk around outside in socks, it's really hard to get all that dry matter out. It's not hard to wash it, it's just that generally it's the dryer that pulls solid floaty things out of your laundry. And so if you don't have a dryer, anything that's sticky, as far as like with stickers on it, stays in your laundry, and then it bothers everybody because it's the dryer that beats everything like that out, but it's also what beats your clothes up. So it's easier on your clothes to be washed off grid. But I get frustrated with the kids when they wear their socks outside, because that's what transfers all that into our laundry. So they either have to get sandals on or they have to wear tennis shoes with socks. So let's see. Tyler Wood said propane fridges are massively expensive and old tech. Newer AC/DC refrigerators are efficient and way safer than the ammonia absorption kind. Interesting. When I was a teenager off-grid, that's what my parents used. They used a dual propane and is it direct current? Is direct current if it's solar, right? And so that's what I grew up with, because we had solar panels and had the capacity to be off grid. We were still attached to the grid, but we had the capacity to be off because my dad had solar panels and propane and everything. Most of our systems were not electricity dependent. Sunny DIY said, oh, one of them is a quail killer. That's for your big dogs. Little White House, hello, hello. That would be Eric. I love his Instagram pictures. Out of Goshen, good morning, Julianne. Good to see you. Thank you, thank you. I've been watching you guys. I think it's been on Instagram. I really love Instagram lately. It's so easy to keep up with everybody. Grandma Rose said, right, all that dryer lint is your clothes wearing out. It's very true. And the heat from it will also destroy any stretchiness in jeans, any spandex, if you have yoga pants, anything like that. It actually cooks. It actually cooks the spandex. All right.
Try not to let
They're
them
okay,
out
honey.
again.
They're okay. I'm not bothered by them. They're okay.
You said that they were bothering your nose.
They were a little bit, but you don't have to keep them away that much. Okay,
If
so
you want, I can put them on their shoulder. They purr up against you, and
they
and
do
so
purr up against you, don't they?
do you want me to do that to show?
That they purr up against your shoulder? You want to come over in the video for a second?
Okay.
Not up against my shoulder. That would definitely give me some issues. I can't have them scratching my neck.
They don't scratch my neck. They just like purr up, or they walk around too. Whoa!
Don't be dropping the kitties. Did he jump or did you drop
Yeah,
him?
he jumped.
Okay.
Jumped.
Okay, you miss need to go get dressed. No more
Is
one.
there
No.
Is
Go.
there something we can
Go get dressed right now. We're not going to talk about food until you have some clothes on. And please don't get dressed in the kitchen, since that is right behind the camera, okay?
They're like playing with. Oh, you guys want some food? Where's it? I need to go get them some food.
All right, I think we got pretty far. This may take forever just to get through this ball of yarn. So let's see, what else is happening? We have been riding our bikes a lot, and I have started ketosis. John has been doing it for 6 weeks now and has lost over 30 pounds, almost 40 pounds in 6 weeks, and has had a lot of success with it. I went off all sugars, even to some degree fruit, for a bit, and then he came back and he said, you're kind of cheating. If you're going to do this to keep me company, you gotta actually do it. So I started to do a keto diet about,
I don't even have potatoes.
right, about a week ago. And I had keto flu for like 3 days, just to where like I was completely brain dead. That's why there haven't been any videos, is because I accidentally erased one whole folder with a ton of footage in it of sewing and decorating and painting and pruning and doing all sorts of things. It all came down because I was somewhat brain dead. So that's what we are doing right now. Do you guys have any other questions? I've been on for about half an hour. And
Mom, what's your favorite animal?
I don't really have one. You need to brush your hair though. If you're wanting to go to church, we need brushed hair.
Wait, it's church today?
It is church today.
I have got to get out of these clothes then.
No, you're fine in what you're wearing, but I need you to get your hair brushed. Okay, well, if nobody has any questions, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't scale down right. Betty Bruce said, where are y'all looking to rent now? I think John is thinking Midtown. I'm not exactly sure. He wants to be close to work. Rachie Lee said, yay for keto, you're awesome. Nice to meet you. You have a new subscriber. Well, thank you very much. Robin South said, you need those carbs for brain function. So with the keto, you're still allowed carbs. You just need to be careful about what their glycemic index or whatever is, how your body metabolizes them. So I do still get carbs. And quite a few. I like turnips and I like salad, and you can eat almost an unlimited amount of what's the word, asparagus. So there's quite a bit that you can still eat. And at first I really felt nasty and I thought, oh, this is not a good idea. I lost 6 pounds in 3 days, and that was interesting, and I felt really, really ill for a few days. And then I added in the electrolytes that they recommend, and all of a sudden I bounced right out of it. So I'm not sure that I like it for a long-term type of a thing, but John's doing well in it. I'm excited for him, and so I am happy to do it with him until he's done doing it, as long as I have some brain function, because you shouldn't be driving if you don't have brain function. I am making a mess out of this ball. Let's see. Rachie said, I've gone through keto flu many times. Really? See, that's the thing I'm not so chipper about with the keto, is that I'm wondering if it's like a good thing for your body to react so badly to your food. Sunny DIY said, that sounds like a dangerous diet. If I can do that to your brain, LOL. I really believe not all diets are good for everyone's bodies. Well, and I agree with that. For me, usually what is best is just high protein, lots of vegetables, and some fruits. So I'm watching it carefully. Again, I've only been on it for a week. John hasn't had any kind of keto flu, and he's been pretty strict about how he eats. I got a counter that tells you your fat to carb to protein ratio so that you can do it scientifically, I guess. And it's been interesting. It's been a week. Well, if I were to get keto flu very often, I would probably just be like, sorry, honey, I don't want to die in a fiery crash. Like, maybe it will work awesome for John to make you sick. It just depends. Well, and that's very true. John seems to handle it very well. And I have a very addictive personality. I'm very, not up and down. I'm very obsessive. And so anything that has that kind of detail and that has you weighing yourself a lot is generally not a good idea for me. So I've told myself I can weigh myself once a week. And it always has to be the same scale, because different scales will give you different results. And I don't think weight really... Nope, put the boots back. Those are my... No. You do not wear my boots, and you know this. You have your own shoes. You have your own sandals. You can go put them on. Put my boots back, please. I have some very nice things that work very well for me on my homestead when I let my kids wear them. or use them, they have a tendency to get destroyed. So I have some rules. Let's see. Yeah, I was very close to saying this is a bad idea when I was on it. It was kind of scary when I was on it at first. But I added in electrolytes. I added in more fat because apparently with keto, like it's supposed to be like 70% fat, which was so gross, and I was nauseous for several days. But I went and got the electrolytes because your body doesn't handle water as well when you're on keto, apparently. As far as your liver doesn't know when to hold on to water and when to let go of water, and so you can lose a lot of minerals. And so I don't really like diets where I have, or not diets, I don't generally do diets, I just kind of do eating. But on one of these that I guess is supposed to be therapeutic, even if you just do it temporarily, apparently there's some supplements that help you so that you don't crash and burn. Bitty Boo Brown said, I was going to say there's a house out there that the man may be willing to rent. It's about a mile from us. Yeah, we have to stay within the city because of John's work. We only have the one vehicle out there, which is fine. We don't need more than one vehicle. The girls and I will probably be doing a lot of biking because I love to bike, and they have some really neat bike paths. The ones we're looking at right now, we're hoping to have next to a really amazing bike loop. Let's see. So we have to stay close to John's work, and I actually really like to be in the city. I prefer a smaller homestead than a bigger one. And a lot of the houses we're looking at, we've asked him, can we put in a little garden? And the last one he was at, we asked, could we have a couple chickens? And he said, as long as you take the chicken coop with you when you're done, that's fine. So that's when John is leaning towards. It's a lot more expensive, but he thinks that I'll go stir crazy. He has actually looked at an apartment, and he thinks that it will be awful to live with me in an apartment because I will go stir crazy. Which, when I'm in the city, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and I didn't have a homestead, I exercised because I have to move constantly. So if you wonder why I do the spinning and why I do the knitting, I have to always be moving or I go nuts. And he's concerned that I will be like a rabid toy poodle in the apartment if I don't have somewhere to dig my fingers in and get some gardening. So he has known me for a long time, so he might be right. All right, Rachie Lee said, what kind of things do you eat daily now with being on keto apart from asparagus? So I haven't eaten any asparagus. I've been watching videos, did not know about the asparagus. So right now what I eat, what I was eating when I first started was I was actually eating too much meat. I was eating mostly meat and no carbs and a small amount of like things like butter, or what else was I trying to eat that I felt like I was just so sick afterwards. Anyway, I was trying really hard to eat fat, but I was also eating a lot of protein and not a lot of carbs. So now I've switched it up, and now I'll eat like a cucumber or two. I'll eat a couple turnips for my vegetables. Yesterday I had mushrooms. I think I ate too many mushrooms. I think it was too many carbs because I felt a little sick afterwards. But I have noticed that my portion control needs to be a lot smaller. What I would normally eat makes me really nauseous. Like food in general seems to make me nauseous when I'm on keto, and I need to drink a lot of water. So that's pretty much been it. So I went and bought some uncured, unsugared bacon that was pretty high fat. I've been eating eggs, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of sour cream. I have been taking the MCT oil just because it doesn't seem to make me as nauseous as eating all the fat. Erica said it's not a diet for everybody. Exactly. And I'm just kind of watching to see. I have a tendency not to get hungry. And, oh, see you, Stephanie. Rachie said, yes, I get on keto and fall off. I think I really like the keto counter that I have is really nice because it tells me I need to eat more carbs. Or it says you need to eat more fat and you need to eat less protein on this meal so that you get your numbers right, which is easier than having to guess. And so I just put in the size of whatever I'm eating at whatever meal, and then it tells me, you still have a whole bunch of carbs left for this day. And so then I feel like my minerals come up a little bit better because I can eat some carbs. Grandma Rose said, she says I look a little slimmer. Well, it was a little bit surprising. I'm not a scale girl. I used to have an eating disorder, so I had to be super, super careful not to get on the scale too much. And generally for me, it's about, I stay, if I have enough activity, which is hard when we're traveling as much as we do, if I have enough activity and I need to eat enough animal protein, enough meat, I stay pretty consistent. My weight doesn't go up and down. It's very consistent. But I have to kind of stay away from the scale. So with the keto though, with how much fat you eat and because you're really satisfied, you don't have a lot of cravings, it's just been kind of interesting. It's not something I've really done before. Paige is washing her hands. Can you use some soap, please? So that's the sound that you hear, is we have a little foot pump sink now where you don't have to touch it in order to get your hands washed, and I really like it.
Well, you do have to touch it with your foot.
Sunny DIY, yes, you do have to touch it with your foot. Sunny DIY said, LOL, right, you need your wits about you to drive, also not to erase your videos. Yeah, that one, I'm still just sick about that one. The curtains that I just put up in there, the floor that I painted, I think I filmed a lot just in one day, but it could have been 2 days worth of footage, and I just had that camera rolling the whole time. So it makes me feel a little bit crazy. But maybe it wasn't that important. Maybe I can get on and do some more sewing and it just won't be a big deal. Erica said the old Scarsdale diet was high protein, low carbs. They seem to rehash my name. So this one is high fat. High fat, almost no carbs, low protein. So high fat, low protein, almost no carbs. And so I think I don't know what to think about it so far as like the longevity of it. But I have noticed that once I got into ketosis and I got my electrolytes in, all of a sudden I felt like I had been drinking coffee, like I had huge amounts of energy. Even now, you'll see I'm talking really fast because I have quite a bit of energy, and I find that I need some pretty strong, we've been going on 10 and 20 mile bike rides every day, even with the heat. So once the brain fog went away with the electrolytes, everything really felt good. I am trying to watch it really carefully. Susie Mack said, is John in the Cyber Core program? Government will pay for your school if you promise to work for them for the same amount of time as your schooling lasts. John has finished with his school in Tulsa for now. He has a job that will allow him to finish up his last few certifications, and that is super nice. So all he's doing right now is just making that. Yes,
That's
honey.
what I did with my hair.
It looks super cute, and it even matches your dress.
Yes.
Good job.
Are these okay for?
Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Because I'm trying to be all matchy matchy.
Are you matchy?
Are we gonna be biking there?
Probably.
Yay!
So-
to Grandma and Grandpa's church.
Maybe. So we got 15 minutes left of the live show, and then I will feed you. You guys get your beds made, please, and you both have quite a bit of laundry there on the floor that needs to be put up.
That's actually all
Okay,
Paige.
you need to get it sorted and put up, okay? What are we talking about?
Can I see this because that I think it's on.
Hi, Josh and Mandy.
When can we send this
Right.
to Dad?
Not right now, because I'm going to finish the show first, okay? Rachel Lee said, sounds like me. I weigh myself every day. Yeah. I do not own a full-length mirror, and I do not own a scale. And it's a lot healthier for me than what I used to do. I used to be very, very obsessive about it. And so as long as I feel good and I have good energy, I'm happy with whatever I'm eating. And if I feel like it's a big deal, generally I'll weigh myself once a month, but as long as my clothes fit, I pretty much just try not to think about it. Gator Source said, once you get fat adapted, your energy is from fat. Carbs are not needed. Keep your electrolytes up. Yes, I have found that it was the biggest thing. And I've had the kids on them too, because they're being forced to go with me when I go biking. And 10 miles a day is a lot for a little 9-year-old on a little bike. So we keep the electrolytes up and make sure everybody has enough food. And it's been pretty fun. We had one day where usually we go earlier in the morning or we go later in the afternoon when it's cooled off. But we went one time just because we were supposed to be meeting somebody, and we went at like 3 and it was very warm. Kaya struggled a lot that day. It's the only day she really felt like she couldn't make it. And so, yeah. Where's the kittens? The kittens are on the floor eating. Did you want to see a kitten? Come here, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, here's one of the kittens. They were up here helping me with my ball of yarn. And then I decided that I needed to finish my ball of yarn before they came back up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go in and see if there's anything that needs tidied up, or you can go haul water.
Paige told me that she wanted the other one, so can you help me put this one?
Go ahead and put it in.
Kind of like this.
So, you got to turn and look at me, honey. No, you got to look at me. There you go.
Thank you.
Sunny said, LOL, I have same issues with Ivy. You have your own shoes, use them. LOL, she ripped my mud boots. Yeah, I use certain tools enough that they're off limits. I have bought similar tools for the girls and they get destroyed.
What similar tools?
Like Leathermans and other things. You kept yours pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get to them.
So, I have sunglasses that I've had for 14 years now. I spent a lot of money on them because I would bike at night and I needed clear lenses so that I could see. They couldn't be sunglasses, so they had removable lenses, and I think I spent $150 on them when I was 23 or 24. And they were worth every penny. I still use them, but nobody uses them but me.
Except me when I do weed whacking.
Yeah, I do give them to her when she's weed whacking. Albany Mountain Homestead said apartment living has no privacy either. Well, that's probably true. I used to live in apartments when I was a kid, when my dad was in school. And for homeschool kids, it was a little bit rough because all the kids in the neighborhood leave during the day, and then what are you supposed to do? The thing I love about homesteading is you always have chores. You always have something that needs to be done. There's nothing wrong with asparagus and keto. You can eat asparagus on keto. I just didn't know that like asparagus was supposed to be one of the best carbs you can eat on keto. What was the other thing? And you can eat grapefruit because chemically it lowers something. So I've been watching this guy on YouTube who has been explaining the science behind it. And I honestly feel like if it's that complicated that you have to use science and explain it with all these numbers and everything, that's ridiculous. But I guess if you want results, it's nice to know why you're getting results.
Can you let me play a game with just a seashell on video?
Well, can you go haul water before it gets hot? I've got
Guess how you
12
can get
minutes
a
left.
penny out of this.
How?
Guess.
By tipping it.
No, you have to go penny it back.
Ah, I see. Just don't get the kittens with it.
Yeah, it's really breakable.
Albany Mountain Homestead said, never liked people living above or below. Well, there is that. I'm trying to think, when was the last time? We stayed in some Airbnbs that were apartments, and yes, it can be quite disconcerting to have people above or below you, and their heat and their smoking and their cooking affects you. So yes, I agree with that. Right now, I guess my thing is we need to be moving into a small space because we've been in a tiny space where we aren't going to have a lot of furniture to take. Well, we have zero furniture to take with us. So everything that we put in the apartment, we're going to have to go buy at like a thrift store. And I don't like to put out huge amounts of money all at one time. I like to do things slow and steady and kind of see what we like and what we don't like about where we are and what we're doing. And so the smaller the place and the less expensive it is, the more homey I think I'll be able to make it with the money that we do have available to fix things up and to make it nice and feel homey. So Rachel Lee said, yum, eggs, bacon, cheese are your best friend along with coconut oil. I'm not a huge fan of coconut oil. That's why I got the MCT oil.
Me
I
neither.
think I have a piece of Kaya's art palette under my bum.
Do I?
Okay, so do you need to go get water or do you need to go tidy something up?
Go tidy something.
Okay, go tidy something up. Let's see. Grandma Rose said you can eat fried pork rinds as a snack, 0 carbs. I don't do really well with packaged food. It's one of the reasons why I think I do somewhat okay on this diet. The preservatives and other things that they put in, what I'd really like to try is some at like a farmer's market that was fresh. I think that would be fantastic. But I have found that I don't know if our GMO food system is changing even more than it was before, but I'm finding I cannot eat anything at restaurants, even if I am careful about what type of food it is. I cannot eat packaged foods of any kind, even if they're supposed to be like paleo friendly or whatever. The more my body's getting more and more sensitive to whatever is in our food system that is not real and natural. And so I'm having to avoid any kind of snack food. If we eat, I'm really struggling with anything that isn't organic. I kind of wonder if maybe it's harder. This was happening before I did keto, by the way. It's not, I don't think it's related to keto because it was happening before that, but getting more sensitive to commercial food. So, life is interesting in our modern age, isn't it? Rachel Lee said, what is that keto counter? Oh, I don't know what will happen if I close out of my phone so I can find it. I went onto the App Store, the Play Store, and just looked up keto counter. I'll try and see if I can get it into the link in the description after the live show, because I'm afraid that if I go to look for it now, it'll turn off the live show. But it's fantastic. You get to add everything in. It tells you, and it tells you what their ratios are of carb to fat to protein, but then it adds it in for you automatically. It tells you what your numbers are according to your height, your weight, your activity level, and tells you how many you have left for the day. I really like it because it's not telling me that calories are bad. It's just telling me whether I need more carbs or more proteins. Yes, it is. It's an app. Am I Amish? I am not Amish. I respect the Amish and the Mennonite, and I think that what they do is amazing. I think I aspire to be Amish, if that's a good way to put it. If it wasn't for my work, the only electricity we would use would be for the fridge, but because I work online, I do have to have internet, so I use a tiny bit of electricity for my computer and a tiny bit of electricity for my fridge, and that is it. Everything else is propane or firewood or candles or that kind of thing. I have a couple lanterns that are LEDs and battery powered, but I only use them if I need them to film indoors, or if I have a child that needs to get light into a dark place and I can't send them in with candles because I'm afraid they'll light the house on fire. But they don't use them very often. Generally, we have plenty of sunlight coming in through the windows, so they may use that lantern for 5 minutes once a week. It's not for reading with. If we're going to read or play games at night, we use candles.
I don't know.
When Mom's there to supervise. You look absolutely gorgeous.
Does it look good with the apron?
Yeah, I like it, but I think you're doing the knot up too tight. I think you're trying to cut yourself in half.
No, I'm not.
Amish wear plain clothes, no patterns. Erica said high fat would make me nauseous too. One needs to get used to it. Yeah, definitely. And again, the portion control. If I tried to eat the same amount on keto that I would if I was eating normally, it makes me really sick. So I have to eat about a third the quantity. What would look like a normal breakfast to me would make me really sick. And it's really weird because it's just by cutting the carbs. It seems like by cutting those starchy carbs, it kind of changes what your body can tolerate.
Look at this.
Yes. Okay, go haul water. Okay, right now. Go haul it. Let's get done.
I'm done that.
You've only got one jug to go fill. Let's see, Betty B. Brown said, wouldn't that diet be hard on the heart with all the fat? No, it's not. It's a certain type of fat. It's healthy fat. And your cholesterol is, most people who've been tested on it, their bad cholesterol goes down, their good cholesterol goes up. I've always eaten a lot of fat in my food, but I've always also eaten a reasonable amount of carbs when I can, and have done well on it. But what we're cutting out now is like a lot of the starchy carbs.
Where's the jug?
I think it's in the kitchen. Let's see, we got 5 minutes left, so get your questions in. Hello from the Netherlands. Hideaway Homestead said, lived in the city for 2 years, never again. I've been in the woods for about 18 years now with my chickens, husband, and 4 sons. It sounds idyllic.
Nope, it still has water in it.
Sons have their own homes on the property. It is home. Okay, then what else can you tidy up in the house for me?
Nothing, I just kind of wanted to be on the live show with you.
Okay, then come out and be on the live show with me. We got about 4 minutes left.
Can I show them how I have to tie my bow since they don't really know how to tie a
It
real
looks
bow?
just fine, honey.
Can I show them?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hello from Panama City, Florida.
you see this bow? It only has one loop, and I just took the loop out. So let me show you how I do it since I don't know how to make a real bow. I only do one loop bows. So first I put this one over this one and then under again.
Paige, you need
Pull up.
something of a braid, I think, or you're gonna get, it's gonna be hot again today.
Pull it tight but not too tight. Twist it like so that there's that.
She doesn't struggle with the heat like you do.
Pull part of that
I don't want
in.
to bike because I
And
can't. Too long of a dress.
Yeah.
Well, you have some short dresses you can put on. I think you're gonna be way too hot in that today. It looks gorgeous, honey. Good job. Come show them all the way so they can see. There you go.
Okay, so I'll redo it. Okay.
All right, so Sacred Wonders Maine said, what's for breakfast? So I am doing an intermittent fasting this morning. I ate a really big breakfast yesterday, and it's left me a little bit nauseous still. So probably at about 10 o'clock, that's when I will eat breakfast, just to give myself a chance to kind of let my stomach rest for a little bit.
First thing I do is cross them. Then I put this one under. Pull it a little bit tight, but not too tight. Go like this. Put this one under. And then do that one more time, but not the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, I can't explain it very well because when I'm explaining it, I have to look at the camera, and that makes it so I can't look at what I'm doing. So I do that at one knot, and then I push it through most of the way, and yeah, there we go this time. That's really tiny because I'm running out of string, and it's just popped out.
All right. So Rachie said, if I did the math right, you look amazing for your age, not a day over 22. Almost 40. I'm so close. Sunday morning, going to church and family. Yes, and we're going to be going here in a little bit. Our church isn't until 11. Let's see.
I like mostly about this apron is that it has those little pockets that you can like put your fingers in.
All right. So what is a good question? What is a good project for a beginning knitter? I always like hats, but they are knit in the round, so maybe washcloths. Washcloths are pretty good.
The first thing I ever knitted was a hat, and I can never really actually remember how to knit, which is kind of annoying.
Okay, Andrea said, very interesting about the grapefruit and asparagus. Do you worry about consuming high fat and it badly affecting your body? No, I've always eaten high fat. For my particular health things that are chronic, my doctor actually put me on a cube of butter a day when I was 23, and I have to eat a cube of butter every day. And so the only difference really with this diet from my normal diet is that instead of eating those fats with carbs, I'm eating just the fats by themselves a lot. And again, at least for me, it has a lot to do with activity level. I do a lot better with high activity. but it's not always an option when you're homeschooling 2 kids and your husband's in Oklahoma. And how are you going to get your intensive exercise in? And when I'm high stress on the road, I have a tendency to eat more carbs, and that affects how I feel. And there for a while, I was getting varicose veins because I was sitting too much. So a lot of what I'm doing right now is just really trying to listen to my body and not be in pain. When we first got back, I was in a lot of pain. If I tried to walk up the ladder to get to the girls' bunk bed at the top, it hurt my feet, it hurt my muscles, everything ached. So now I'm doing yoga. The yoga seemed to help an awful lot. Cut out refined sugars in solidarity with John. And now with the keto, I may actually be able to get down to what I was before I got married, back when I was really, really active. I didn't use a car. I even rode a bike in the winter. So that would be nice, because I felt really good at that point in my life with that much motion.
This is my lucky seashell, and it also has my lucky penny in it, but I can't get the lucky penny out right now.
Okay, Missy, you are hard to talk around. Erica says, once your body gets used to your own healthy homegrown food, other food can really make you feel sick, which is very true. And right now, a lot of what I'm buying that is green, I'm getting from natural grocers, because I reacted badly to lettuce the other day that was conventional at the grocery store. I had a really, really bad reaction to it.
What work do you do online? Is what she said.
Let's see.
Tell her what work you do online. She asked.
What work do I do online? So I am a YouTuber. That is what I do as my main occupation. I also have an Etsy store, and right now we're working on getting the blog back up and going. So I work online, and it has supported our family for the last 2 years while we were traveling about and looking at tiny houses and looking at interesting farms. And so yeah, for 2 years we have been fully supported by my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to get more into other avenues, just because I feel like YouTube has kind of been pulled back and really censored a lot. And so there's a lot of things that I'd like to talk about that I can't talk about. I can't show butchering anymore. And I think self-defense is another thing that I'm interested in that you can't really talk about anymore. And so I'm trying to transition over to those other platforms, hoping to be able to have a more honest and true view of homesteading and off-grid life, rather than having to keep it all so PC. So if you've noticed that I haven't been on YouTube as much, it's because I'm trying to develop those other platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and our website. So Michelle Pipkin said, I love watching your videos. You give me so many ideas. You do awesome work. I would love to live in a tiny house, less cleaning. Why do you need such a big wood heater for a small space? I don't. That is my big wood stove that used to be in my big house that's just over there. And it heated all 2,300 square feet of it effortlessly. I have it now because I can't let go of it. We put it on Craigslist a couple times, and then I talked people out of buying it. I have the rocket mass heater, and that is perfect for the tiny house. It would be perfect for a big house too, but it was built for our tiny house, and it is perfect for it. So that's why I have 2 big wood stoves in my house, is because one of them is decorative and like holds my heart because I just love it, and that's the Elmira Fireview or Flameview. I don't remember which one it is. So we have that one, and it works as a mixing counter for me, kind of like a kitchen cupboard. That's what I use it for, storage. And it also has the propane attachment on the side that we cook with. And then it's the rocket mass heater that actually cooks or heats the house. And we have an oven that goes on top of that. So it's kind of an eclectic mix. I keep things until I can absolutely prove that I don't need them.
These kittens purr all the time.
They do purr all the time. And if I already own them, why would I? You know, I don't own anything on that stove. If I was ever back in a big house, I might want to put it back in. It cooks really well. The oven on it works really well. The air circulates around. So that's why I have the big oven, is because I just can't sell it. I'm quite attached to it.
Plus, it actually holds loads and lots of storage. Huh, Mom?
Huh?
Plus, it also holds loads and loads and loads of and lots of storage.
Yeah, I have quite a bit of food on and in and pans in it and everything like that, so it works like a little kitchen cupboard. Okay. Do I crochet as well? I crochet a little bit, but not very much. I'm really into knitting. Cheese is okay. Yes. What kind of MCT oil do I use? I used one that was meant for bodybuilding or something. It was inexpensive, and I don't remember if it had palm oil in it or just the coconut oil. I'm not sure. I'm not into it so much. No, that's the electrolytes. Let's see. I don't know how to make it go down. It's being cranky. All right,
Oh,
so
maybe there wasn't any more comments.
yep,
after.
probably it wasn't. Okay, so I finally got this wound up. I was gonna make a hat on while we were on the chat, but I'm not going to now because we're gonna go and I'm gonna make breakfast for girls and go to church. Make sure to go check us out on Instagram.
Somebody said, "How are you so pretty?" Probably because she wears makeup.
Yep, it's because I wear makeup. Okay, so we have Instagram, Facebook, and then Dirtpatcheaven and Etsy. So we'll try and get those links up. And I'm going to head off into the sunset and church.